Good morning, ladies and gentlemen, my fellow coffee breakers. It is that time again. I've got my coffee here. We are going to take another coffee break. Have you ever thought about the following? About the choices you make? Have you ever thought how that influences your life? Some choices are small things and it has an immediate effect and then it's gone. But certain choices, your big life choices, have you ever thought properly about it? I've watched the news now and I've watched this whole thing about the 59 South Africans leaving for America and how that exploded. I mean, it was a total, I don't know what to call it. It was like people lost their minds about it and called them cowards, and there's so many other things that they were called racists, and they want apartheid and whatever. But have anyone thought about the choice they had to make, the difficult choice they had to make? Because this is a very difficult choice. It will influence the rest of their lives. And those around them as well. I mean, sometimes you make a choice that has a huge impact on the people around you, on your loved ones, on your family. And sometimes you make a very poor choice that will affect your life for the rest of your life. And it just made me think again. It made me think about how quickly we can make decisions, choosing one option above the other without really thinking about it. Are we making wise choices? Are we really thinking about what will happen after this choice? Because I don't think people realize that every choice has a consequence or more than one consequence. Every choice we make have consequences, and we don't always think our choices through. We don't always realize how many choices we make in one day. I mean, some of it is, it's easy. It's I need to get out of bed now, or I can lay 10 minutes longer, and then I may be late for work. I mean, that's the consequence. But making that choice leaves you with consequences, and that's the one thing I think in the modern society that we kind of don't want to think about, or we want to blame it on something else or someone else. It's not, I'm not at fault here. I just left for work 10 minutes later. And it's so easy to just blame it on something or someone else. And I think we are free to make choices that we realize that. Are we realizing that? We are free to make our choices. The Lord gave us that free will. But then when that choice leads to a nasty consequence because I didn't think we through, or I knew in my heart that this is not the right choice to make, but it sounds so nice. It sounds so, I mean, maybe it will work out. But when that consequence hits you, then you want to turn around and say, oh, but you know what, this is not what the Lord supposed. I'm not supposed to live a bad life or whatever. But if I have free will to make my own choices, then I have to own up to my choices. And this is something that I talk to my kids about. I mean, I talked about a lot of things, but it is my responsibility as a parent to instill morals and values into my children, to instill a value system that will help them through life. And it was also my responsibility to talk to them about choices and to tell them that if you make choices, you have to own up to it. You have to own up to the consequences. And yes, we can make bad choices and we will have bad consequences. I can never undo a choice, but you can choose to change course, so to speak, to say, right, I've made a really bad choice, and I have to live with the consequences, but now let me see how I can rectify that or make it a little better. I still have a bad choice, made a bad choice, but and I have to live with the consequences, but I have to own up to this and say it was my bad choice. And therefore I need to fix it as far as possible. And that means that I make another choice that I have thought through and that I realize, okay, I've now thought about it. It can change the bad consequences into something better. You will still have to go through the bad consequences. Like I said to my kids when I was a teacher as well, they know me. I always said bad choices, bad consequences, and you have to live through it. It's the law of nature. I mean, if you make that choice, you have to be prepared for the consequences. I think this is the big problem that faces us now. Is it is so easy to turn that finger to show to point to someone else. But then these fingers are pointing back at me. If I say it is your fault, I have three fingers pointing back at me, telling me, it's own up. It's your own decision. That is the one thing that I realize now with these South Africans leaving. It is those choices that they had to make was difficult ones. And maybe they had to quickly make them in terms of when they told them, okay, you can go or not. But they still had to make them. And they still had to decide. If I look at the consequences, will I be able to live with that? And there was quite a few kids in that contingent of people. And I think that was kind of a no-brainer for these parents to say, I cannot allow my kid to live in a country where they can't be children because it's too unsafe. So then, as a parent, I would make the same decision. I cannot blame them. I cannot tell them they are cowards. I don't know their situation. I don't know what trauma they went through. But that decision has a ripple effect. Every choice we make have ripple effects. If I choose to, say for instance, decide that I'm going on holiday. Simple thing. I mean, going on holiday, it should not be even a difficult choice to make. But yeah, I've decided I'm going on holiday and I'm staying away for a month. And in that month, my one of my kids have a birthday, and two of my grandkids have birthdays, then I won't be there because I decided to go on holiday. And it is fully my right to make that choice. But it has a ripple effect because now the grandkids are going to feel, but you know what, Grandma, you always were at all of our birthdays, and now suddenly you go on holiday and you're not here. And they may feel sad about it or upset about it. And when I sit there at the seaside having a nice coffee, when I'm sad then and I say, why did I do it now? I could have waited a month. Well, you made the decision. Now live with it. But our decisions do have ripple effects. Our choices ripples out to other people. When these people made that decision to go and live in America, they had to leave family behind. When my kids decided to immigrate to another country, And I fully understand their decision, and I am sad about it. I mean, I miss them dearly. I miss having my grandkids close enough so that I can hug them. I can only talk to them on a video conference call or a WhatsApp video call or stuff like that. I mean, I can't hug them and say, well done, when they get their diploma for swimming or for dancing or for doing well in school. I can't hug them. I can tell them over the phone. But I understand why they made that difficult choice, because it wasn't difficult. They left family on both sides. They left friends. They left their jobs to go overseas. And what my son said to me is, I need to do it for my kids, and I need to do it now when they are still young enough to be able to assimilate or to get used to the situation overseas. So it makes sense, but it has a ripple effect. We lost the chance to be with them in real time. I mean, luckily we have video calls now, and we can call one another and see one another on the screen, but it's not the same as having them here, as hearing their laughter or their funny jokes, or just, that smile that I'm used to. And it has that ripple effect. My other two children not lost their brother. Let me rephrase that in total. That's not what happened. They didn't lose him. But they lost that connection of having him here, of visiting with one another, of having family times together and stuff. And it does ripple out to the rest of the family. But once again, my choice needs to be something that I can live with. And therefore, I need to realize that my choices makes me who I am. I don't think we always realize that. And that is important, because you have to make the choices that you can live with and that does not have that bad consequences. And you must realize that it does influence who you are, because you do it out of your value system. So make time for the difficult choices. Take your time when you have to make life-changing choices. I mean, whether you drink a coffee, or whether you drink a tea, or whether you drink juice, that is something that will not impact your life forever and a day. But deciding to move somewhere, to change your job, that has consequences that you have to be able to live with. So once again, I'm going to ask you, have you really thought about the importance of taking time? Once again, time comes in, of taking time to make the difficult or the tough choices that will influence your life in such a way that your consequences are good ones. And I leave you with that.